Hello and welcome to this video. I've been on a search for finding the perfect cuticle oil. I find a lot of oils just lie on your skin. They quite often work really well on your actual nail plate, but the skin around your nails can be left quite dry and they just lie on your skin for a long time, keeping your hands really greasy, so that you're unable to touch anything or do anything without getting everything covered in grease and oil. So I get really fed up with this, and I have for quite a long time just not used cuticle oils, and I've used applied hand cream regularly throughout the day. But my nails have been peeling a little, so I think that they do need a little bit more than just hand cream. Hand cream is great for your skin, but not necessarily for your nails. They need more moisture, more oils. So I went and ordered several oils, and I thought then I would do a review on them to show you what I think and how they applied on the nail and the skin, and the effects on that, whether it stayed greasy for a long time or it absorbed quickly, how it makes your skin around your nail feel. Does it make it feel silky, or does it leave it just as rough as when you applied it? So I've taken 5 oils, and I shall film these over a 24-hour period, where I shall apply the oil, then come back and show you what it's like in 5 minutes to see how it's soaked into the skin. And then 24 hours later, after using that particular oil for a day, I will come back and show you how my skin looks, how my skin feels, and my nails, and how long it actually took to really soak in properly for each oil, how my nails responded, how my skin responded to it, and my opinion on that particular oil. I've also broken down the price for each oil down to what the price would be for 1 ounce or 30 mils, because they all come in different pack sizes, in different bottle sizes. And at the end of the video, I've also listed the ingredients, or the basic oils at least in the ingredients of which type of oils are in these cuticle oils. Information that I've taken from the internet, just so that you can have more information, all the information that I can find, so that you can make your best choice for you. And if you enjoy the video and you found it useful, please do hit that like and subscribe. Plenty more videos coming up on all aspects of nail care, and of course the manicures that I always do. So let's get on with the review. So I shall start with CND Solar Oil. Excuse the very small bottle, but I bought several of these cuticle oils, and I thought I should just get a small bottle to try it and see how it goes. I think it's got a lot of almond oil in it, because that's what it smells like. Quite a strong smell of almonds, which I don't particularly like, but we'll see how it goes. Let's give it a go. I shall apply a small amount, and then I'll come back again in 5 minutes so that we can see how it's soaked in. I think that's quite sufficient on the nail. That's what I would normally use, so I shall rub it in now. It feels quite silky and oily. Just rub it underneath. It lies quite oily on the skin. But we shall revisit this in 5 minutes. Okay, that's had about 5 minutes now. I wouldn't say it's soaked in massively. I think it's soaked in a little bit on the nail, but it's still quite oily on the skin. So I wouldn't put this as highly absorbent oil. Like I say, it's starting to soak into the nail, but it's still quite oily around the skin. What I should be doing with these is I shall spend 24 hours just using this oil. I shall use it at least 3 times a day. And in 24 hours, let's see what effect I feel it's had on my skin and my nails. And then at the end of the video, I shall just sum up what I feel, which I feel is the best and most absorbent oil. Because it can be annoying when it's oily and it stays oily for a long time. You feel like you can't touch anything, and it would be nice to find an oil that is more absorbent, so that it absorbs into your skin quickly and your nail quickly, and you don't have that greasy thing where everything you touch is greasy. So I shall be back in 24 hours and I'll let you know how I fared. So 24 hours later, this is the result. I was pleasantly surprised with this cuticle oil actually. It did take a while to soak in. I would say it took about 20 minutes for it to soak in properly and not be greasy on my skin. However, the nail did absorb the oil quite well, and the skin around my nail was nice and soft, which I have found previously with some nail oils, that it just lies on the skin and it just stays greasy for ages and ages and ages. Doesn't seem to soak in. It doesn't seem to make the skin any softer. It sort of almost makes it more dry almost sometimes. So that was definitely a plus. So yes, I quite like this oil. Although, like I say, it doesn't soak in 5 minutes. It's still a little bit oily on the nail plate and on the skin around the nail. But the consistency of it is quite nice. It doesn't feel overly greasy when you apply it. It's quite thin and fluid when you put it on. It feels relatively light. It doesn't feel really heavy and gloopy like some oils do. And like I say, it did soak into the skin, and my skin feels nice and soft around the edges. And this is the bits where it gets very dry around the edge of the nail there. But it looks quite good. My cuticles look quite well nourished and well moisturised. So we'll see how the other oils go, but I'm quite pleased with this one. This one is OPI Pro Spa nail and cuticle oil. It comes in quite a small bottle. This is 8.6 mils, which is 0.29 fluid ounces. This was on the pricey side, but we'll see. If it's a fantastic oil, it's worth paying the price, isn't it? So let's apply it and we'll see how it does in the first 5 minutes. Has quite a nice feel to it. Doesn't feel too tacky and sticky like some oils can do. A bit more on there. Maybe I didn't put enough on it. Quite a bit on my little finger. So let's just rub that in. One thing that becomes apparent is it smells absolutely gorgeous. It's a lovely smell. Some sort of essential oil, like mandarin or tangerine or something like that. So a nicer smell, I think, than the solar oil. But having said that, the solar oil, within a very short time, you couldn't smell it. So it's just when you first put it on, it smelt quite sort of almond-like smell. So let's give that 5 minutes and see how it does. So after 5 minutes, you can see it's very similar to the CND one. There's still quite a lot of oil on the nail plate and on the skin, but it doesn't feel greasy. It has like a silky feel to it. It feels lovely on my skin. Really sort of smooth and silky sort of consistency, and it smells lovely. Makes my skin feel really soft and smooth. But we'll see. I shall make a note of how long it takes to soak in properly, and I'll let you know tomorrow how it went. So after 24 hours, I would say I was quite pleased with this one as well. It's quite moisturising. I found that it moisturised the skin around my nails nicely, nice and soft, and it soaked into the nail quite well. I would say that this one is pretty close to the CND Solar Oil. It took pretty much the same sort of amount of time to soak in, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. It was about half an hour ago that I put on the last application of this oil today. And as you can see, it's still a little bit of moisture around the nail here. It's a very silky feel to it, which is quite nice. You know, it smells absolutely gorgeous. That's the one thing that I really notice about it. And it does make your nails feel nourished, and say the skin around your nails, as you can see, it's nice and supple and soft. But it is a little bit on the pricey side compared to the CND Solar Oil, and I would put them both in the same kind of bracket really. So, you know, I possibly would go for the solar oil over this one due to price. So this one is Essie's Apricot Nail and Cuticle Oil. Let's see how it smells. It does smell a slight smell of apricot, but it's not particularly strong smell. It's easy to apply with a nice brush, nice wide-ish brush, usual Essie brush, so easy to apply it. This is supposed to be quite absorbent. It's meant to absorb quickly. Whether it does, we'll see. Feels quite nice and silky. It smells a bit like shower gel. It must be that apricot sort of smell. It doesn't smell as particularly nice. Like I say, I would say it smells like shampoo or shower gel. So that's not quite going for it initially. There are nicer smells out there, but let's just see how it goes. And I'll come back in 5 minutes and we'll have a look. Well, this is after 5 minutes, and I would say that it has actually absorbed a bit quicker than the other two. You know, it's at the stage where the other two were at after about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and it's achieved that in 5 minutes. So it has absorbed more quickly. There's still a little bit of oil here, not quite soaked into the skin, but it doesn't feel greasy. It feels quite silky on the skin. Actually, it feels quite good. The only downside to it, from my opinion, is I really don't like the smell of it. It just does smell like shampoo, but it feels nice. It's a nice silky feel to the skin. So we'll see how that goes in the next 24 hours. Well, I really didn't like the Essie one. The smell of it was awful. I really didn't like the smell of it. And although when I put it on, it felt quite silky, and it made my skin feel nice and silky. Within about 10 minutes or so, my skin felt very strange, very dry, and sort of parched, like it was it had taken all the oils out of my skin. So I quite quickly washed that off, and I haven't used any more of it. So I wouldn't recommend that one. The other two were lovely and made my skin feel lovely, and didn't make it feel like that at all. But I really don't like that one. There's something not quite right about it. So that was the first disaster on this review. So onwards and upwards, we'll go on to the next one. So now it's time for my homemade one. This is 50% jojoba oil and 50% vitamin E oil. I haven't put any fragrance in it at all. I've just mixed it half and half and put it in a little bottle. It's quite cheap to make, and I have used the best quality organic oils. So it's good quality oils at a fraction of the price of a lot of the manufactured brand oils. So we'll see how this compares. It's not quite as silky feeling as the CND or the OPI one. It's slightly thicker, not quite as light and liquidy as the other two. Nevertheless, it feels nice on the skin, but we'll check back in 5 minutes. So this is after 5 minutes. As you can see, it's still very oily. It's a nice, I would say, a nice silky smooth feel. It's, I would say, is even more oily after 5 minutes than the OPI one or the solar oil. We'll see how it goes over the next 24 hours, and I shall make a note of how long it takes to soak in. Now, I was very happy with this homemade version. I don't think the skin around the nails is quite as nourished as it was with the CND or the OPI one, but it's still quite soft. As you can see, it still looks quite well moisturised. The cuticles are nicely nourished and moisturised. It's quite soft. It took a while to soak in. Again, about 20-25 minutes to soak in. It sort of remains on the skin for quite a while, and on the nail. But like I say, that the skin is fairly soft. Not as soft as it was with the other two, but you know, this is considerably cheaper, this one. So, you know, if you're on a budget, then this homemade one is a pretty good bet. Definitely 100% better than the Essie one, which I really didn't like, and it made my skin quite dry. This doesn't. It's a little bit thickier and stickier and gloopier to apply. So I don't like the consistency of it as much as the other two. I liked the lightness of the other two. It was easy to spread, and it just felt really nice and silky on the skin. But like I say, this one would be absolutely fine if your budget couldn't extend to the higher priced ones. Then the jojoba oil and vitamin E oil would be absolutely fine. And you can put whatever fragrance that you want with it. Put a few drops of essential oil in for the scent. And finally, this is Cuccio Naturale Luxury Spa and Cuticle Revitalizing Oil. And this is the milk and honey fragrance. They do all sorts of different fragrances, fruity fragrances and various different fragrances, but I decided to go for this one. And the large bottle like this comes with a dropper. You can get it in smaller bottles. I'm not quite sure whether they come with a dropper or with a brush, but this is the larger one. It feels quite light to the touch. It's not a heavy oil. Quite sort of it's easy. It's easy to spread. I say it feels quite light. Possibly got I think it's got quite a lot of sunflower oil in it and safflower oil. It's nice and easy to distribute. So let's give that 5 minutes and see how that soaks in. It smells quite nice. Quite a sort of I would say more of a vanilla-y smell than sort of a honey smell. Yeah, I would say quite vanilla-y. But quite nice, nice light fragrance, not too heavy. And it feels quite silky on the skin and on the nails. So that's had about 5 minutes now. I think it's soaked in a little bit more easily on the skin than the OPI one or the CND net oil, but we'll see. There's still a little bit of oil on the nail and on the skin. It feels quite silky. That's quite nice. I would say much better than the Essie one, which I really didn't like. I'll use this over the next 24 hours and then I'll let you know what I think. So this one took about 20 minutes to soak in. It seemed to moisturise the nail plate okay, but the skin around my nails was quite dry. And although it felt quite silky when I put it on, and it felt lovely on my skin when I put it on, after a while, within sort of, I don't know, half an hour or so, the skin felt quite dry and it didn't moisturise it the same way. So I wouldn't put this one down as one of my favourites. I would say it's sort of third to fourth place. Third to fourth place, I would say, for this one. It's much better than the Essie one. That was really not good at all. But it does seem to sort of make the skin feel a little bit parched. So it's not ideal for the skin. And, you know, with these oils, some of them have oils in them which are great for the nail, but not particularly good on your skin. But you want something really that does both. And for me, this doesn't really. It's obviously cheaper than the solar oil or the OPI. So is just jojoba oil or the jojoba oil mix. So I think if I was looking for a more budget-friendly alternative, I would probably go with a homemade mixture rather than this one. Well, after testing all these oils, there were definitely some winners and some losers. So I shall summarise these now. So you may have picked up during this review that my favourites were the CND Solar Oil and the OPI Pro Spa. Now the OPI is the most expensive. It is very expensive. This worked out at just over 47 euros for 30 mils, which is 1 ounce. So that was the most expensive. It does smell absolutely delightful, but at that price, it's not really for me. I'm not going to be paying that kind of money for a nail oil. The CND Solar Oil, I would say, is about the same quality. The actual oil, what it does to your skin and how it makes your nails feel, is pretty much the same as the OPI. And this is about a third of the price. This works out at €15.44 for 30 mils, 1 ounce. So significantly cheaper, but just the same. The effect that it has on your skin and on your skin around your nails and your nails is no different to the OPI. Now this one that the one I tested in the small bottle, because that's the one I'd bought at the time, that was like an almondy sort of scent. This one actually smells a little bit different. Jasmine tea or something like that. It smells a bit like jasmine, a nice floral scent. But this one, or the almond scented one, is absolutely fine for me. I'm quite happy with that. It really made the skin around my nails so soft and nourished. And my cuticles here are so much better. So moisturised, and I can't see any cuticle coming on the nail here. So it's obviously really nourishing all that area. And my nails had been peeling a little bit on a few of my nails due to the cold weather, etc. And so they were a little bit parched, and that stopped. So the condition of my nails has definitely increased. So I shall continue with this one. So like I say, this will be my favourite. This will be the one that I shall use from now on. So the next on my list would be the homemade one. And I did do this half and half with vitamin E oil and jojoba oil. But you could just put some jojoba oil in a bottle, and I think that would do the job just the same. This one was a little bit more gloopy to apply it, not quite as thin and fluid as the CND, but it did soften the skin around my nails, not as much as the CND. That made my skin really silky feeling. This doesn't do that so much. But it did feel that it nourished my nails. So if you can't stretch to the price of the CND oil, this I would say would be the next best thing. And this worked out at just over €5 for 30 mils, 1 ounce. So this is a 1 ounce bottle. And this one that I bought was an organic one, and it was cold pressed. So this wasn't the cheapest jojoba oil. So, but it was a good quality one. So that's a pretty good price, I think. The next one down, I would put the Cuccio. It feels really silky when you put it on the skin, and it's quite fluid. But it didn't make my skin feel as silky as the solar oil, not afterwards. At the time, it feels silky when you put it on. But once it absorbs in, it makes your skin feel a little bit dry. Why that is, I don't know, but it is not my favourite really. I would, like I say, I would go for the solar oil, or if I couldn't get that, I would make my own and just put jojoba oil on. Now, as you know, this is one that I absolutely hated, so I don't know what to say about this really. The smell of it, I thought just smelled like shampoo, which is all very well, don't mind it on your hair, but you don't want your hands to go smelling of shampoo all the time. And it made my skin really dry. I was not impressed with this at all. In fact, this one's going straight in the bin. So in summary, I should just bring up some information for you. So I've listed here the price of each oil, listed in my order of preference of the actual oil. And I've also listed the ingredients that I found online to give you an idea of which oils these oils contain. That gives you an idea. They do say that jojoba oil is the best one for your nails, but it's also quite nice to have a combination of different oils, I think, because some oils are better for your skin and some oils better for your nail. So because it's not just your nail you want to think about, you also want to think about the skin around your nails. For quite a while I sort of went off using oil at all and just sort of used hand cream all the time, because all the oils that I used would just sort of lie on the skin, and my skin would be just as tough and rough and dry. The nail might be okay, but my skin was really dry, and I found hand cream made that better. But like I say, I had some peeling on my nails, so you know, I don't think just using hand cream is enough for your nails. So you have to kind of strike a happy medium between the skin being nice and soft and silky and your nails being well nourished. So as well as jojoba oil, that's meant to be the best for your nails. Apparently it's the closest to natural sebum, which is the oils that your body produces. But also apparently other oils that are meant to be good for your skin and your nails are sweet almond oil, sunflower oil apparently, and safflower oil are meant to be good. Apparently grapeseed oil, though I've never tried that one. But so you can use a combination of these oils, or the oil that has a combination of these ingredients in them. But I must say, in the week it's taken me to do all these reviews, my nails have been a lot better. The peeling is completely gone. My cuticles here, and the proximal fold here, where your cuticle line is like really well nourished, and my skin is a lot better around my nails. So I shall definitely continue with using the right oil for me, which again I shall say is the CND Solar Oil. And I apply this more than 3 times a day, really. At least 3 times a day, probably at least 5 times a day. And then whenever I sit down and say have a cup of tea, I'll apply some. So several times a day. And I also use hand cream several times a day. Each time I wash my hands, I will apply some hand cream. Because you need to replenish that moisture that you're losing by washing your hands. This one has got glycerin and aloe vera in. It's a Nivea hand cream, and it is lovely. You can really feel the silkiness of it when you put it on. It's not too heavy. It's like a sort of a lotion, really. I'll show you. It's quite easy. It's not a really thick cream. It's like a lotion, really, but it is a lovely cream, and you can feel the glycerin in it. And how that works is that it seals your skin, and I suppose on top of your nail as well when you rub it into your nail. And I rub it into my cuticle area and around the nail. It seals in the moisture. That's how it works. Rather than adding moisture, it doesn't add moisture to your skin. It just puts like a barrier around it, I think, and seals it in so that moisture doesn't escape from your skin. So yes, I use this every time I wash my hands. I just put on a little bit, and like I say, rub it round, and just rub it around my nail and my cuticle area around there like that, and then I'm good to go. And that's made a big difference. So I've really upped the routine with my hand cream as well as the nail oils. And then I've started now doing a nail oil soak twice a week, and I think that really makes it feel really good as well. So I shall do another video on how I do that, which is basically it's mostly jojoba oil, which I put in a pot like this. I've got several other oils that I had in stock, so I've been adding a bit to that as well, and just put it in a pot. I just keep this lid on it to keep it, and then I get a bowl, another bowl bigger than this one, full of hot water, and then I will just seep that in it until this gets nice and warm, and then just rest my fingers in it for 10 minutes. I tend to do 5 minutes on one hand, 5 minutes on the other hand, and then repeat it. So it's had 10 minutes on each hand, and then just sort of rub it into the cuticle area, on the nail and around, and do it when I'm watching TV in the evening, and then obviously have a towel on my knee and just leave it to sort of soak in then afterwards, and then rub it into my hands. And apparently that's meant to really help with the warm oil. And then I just put the lid back on it, ready for next time. Like I say, I've only just started this regime, but I'm hoping that this will really help the strength of my nails, and stop them peeling and etc. So So that's what I'm doing now. But I say I'll do a video on that. And at some point, probably in the new year, I'm going to do a video on every aspect of natural nail care and how to take care of your nails, how to grow your nails and protect them and look after them. All sorts of tips that I've learned over the time that I've been doing my nails. So that will be one to watch. So make sure that you're subscribed and you hit the bell notification and click all, and you'll get instant notifications when I post a new video. So I say that one will be coming up in January. So look out for that one. That will be good. And I'm quite looking forward to doing that one. I think that one will be a great video, particularly for newbies to nail care and people that have taken off acrylic nails and have stopped having gel nails and they've had damaged nails and really want to grow out their natural nails. So that will be one to watch. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you got some information from it. And it'd be great to read your comments on what nail oils you use, if you've found any that you think are better than these, or ones that, you know, even ones that you really like, or even a homemade one that you've made yourself. And if you enjoyed the video, please do like it and share it, because that all helps to reach more people. So remember to keep those nails well nourished and oil as much as you possibly can, and use the hand cream, and I'll see you next time.